Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominick, Dougherty, and going way over here, Drew Fasy.
Way off, but we are your local guys.
Listen, Drew, it's only time 2 on the new platform. It's like basically stepping back in time 2 years to when we first started this. So, you're just going to have to bear with us, everybody. Joining us today, we have a very special guest who is taking time out of her crazy busy schedule up in Westchester, PA. Taylor Pontari. Taylor, thank you for coming on the show today.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for having me.
Good morning, Taylor. Good to see you.
Good morning.
As a side note, when we first started, Taylor referred to Drew as Mr. Fasy, and I almost fell out of my chair laughing. Mr. Fasy.
That's how I've known him my whole life, Mr. Fasy.
I was just going to say that, as I've known Taylor all of her life, and Taylor is coming to us live from my alma mater, Westchester University.
Rams up.
Rams up. Taylor, what is your major?
I'm majoring in Spanish, and I'm working towards my certificate in Spanish and healthcare.
Spanish and healthcare, awesome.
Yeah.
So Taylor is a junior. Taylor was a 2023 Ocean City High School grad, born and raised in Ocean City. Taylor, you lettered in tennis at Ocean City, right?
Yes, I did.
And you were among other things, you were the 2020 Ocean City Has Talent competition.
Yes, I was.
I was pulling that one out. I surprised you, didn't I?
Yeah, wow. I'm very impressed. Yeah.
So we'll go even further back on topic. I actually gave Taylor her big break in her music career, and I'm expecting points on the first contract that you get, Taylor. Tom, I don't know if you knew this, but I don't even know what year it was. Taylor was young, but I got her to sing the national anthem at the OCYAA Memorial Day All-Star game. Do you remember that, Taylor?
I do. That was the scariest performance I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
First one is the scariest, for sure. I don't know. I was in front of all of my peers playing baseball and all eyes on me. And it was my first time ever doing something like this. So it was definitely out of my comfort zone. But that definitely got my foot in the door. So kudos to you for that.
Well, you killed it. You absolutely killed it.
Thank you.
So,
and go ahead, Joe.
I moving ahead. You've had a pretty exciting summer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
a lot of crazy things have happened.
Yeah. I mean, so on May 17th, you sang the national anthem at Fenway Park, storied Fenway Park, before the Red Sox and Braves game. And then just a few weeks ago, August 16th, you sang the national anthem at Lincoln Financial Field before the Eagles and the Browns game.
Yes.
That
was a crazy experience.
Yeah, tell us about the Fenway experience.
So, I do gigs with my dad, and we play all summer together. And throughout the wintertime, I'll come home during the weekends to sing. And we always do a tribute to our veterans and during the gigs. And I sing the national anthem. And I sang the national anthem at a restaurant in EHT. And a really nice man came up to me and said, I'm going to get you at Fenway Park to sing for the Boston Red Sox game. And I could not believe it. He knew the vice president of the Boston Red Sox. So finally I saw paperwork, and I just could not believe, I wasn't going to believe it until I saw it. And I saw the paperwork, and I could not believe that that was happening. Fenway Park has 34,000 seats. So game day, I got there. It was a beautiful night. And I sang at 7 p.m. And I thought maybe, it wouldn't be as packed in the beginning of the game. I know when I go to Phillies games, sometimes it's not packed, like right when the game starts. It starts to fill in during the first inning. Fenway Park, it was filled with diehard fans who were there 15 minutes before the game started. So I walked out on the field, and almost every seat was filled, and there were probably close to 30,000 people sitting there. And, the biggest venue I had sang at before that was Cowtown Rodeo. There was 1,000 people, which was a huge accomplishment for me. So seeing 30,000 people, it was crazy.
Yeah,
and
1,000
I just
people is a
remember,
lot.
yeah.
Well,
So seeing 30 was definitely, I know. So I just kind of had to, I just had to do it. I couldn't get in my head. So I wanted to make sure I took in the whole experience. So I zoned out when I started, so I wasn't nervous, and I just, I kind of just dissociated, and then I sang, and at the end I made sure to take it all in and realize what was actually going on around me. And I'll tell you, hearing the crowd, hearing that many people cheer for you, it sounded like something out of a movie. It sounded like, effects coming from a movie, and I couldn't believe it. And I just remember it had been an 8-month buildup of me thinking about this, and it finally happened. And I just remember crying right when I was done and hugging my family members, because I just was so proud and relieved and excited. I was filled with a lot of emotions, anxious, and when I was done, I just was crying because I was filled with all this emotion. And the vice president of the Red Sox was crying. And he came up to me and shook my hand and said that was one of the best we've ever heard. And wow. That made me really cry. I was very emotional. And I was really proud of myself, because then I think about the time when I sang in front of 35 people at the OCYAA game. And I just could not believe how far I have come. So that was really a crazy experience. And afterward, they had really great seats for me right at the front. I was right next to the Braves dugout, and I'm seeing all these players that I watch on TV, because I come from a big baseball watching family. Me and my brothers played baseball growing up. So seeing all of these people, seeing these MLB players right in front of me was crazy. And the coaches came up to me from the dugout, and they were giving me fist pumps and compliments, and they gave me a game ball, and there were some players tipping their hats, and I was just so blown away that this was happening to me. This is the MLB. I made it to the major leagues. So that
Fenway
was
Park.
The coolest. Fenway Park. Yeah, that's I didn't know the Fenway Park was that's the most popular stadium in America. The biggest, the most nostalgic stadium that everyone visits. There's a lot of history that goes into that park, and I could not believe that I was able to experience that opportunity. And the game, it just flew by. I just was trying to take it all in, but I was just filled with so many emotions that, it was hard to live in the moment, because I just was so in my head thinking about what had just happened, and there was such an adrenaline rush. And at the end of the game, I was walking out, and there were floods, there were people flooding out of the stadium, and I was looking for my mom, because we had gotten lost when we were leaving the stadium, and so I was waiting for her outside of the doors, and someone said, "Look, it's the girl who sang the anthem." And there were floods of people, and they all just started cheering, and it sounded fake. It was fake. I couldn't believe it. And it was just so crazy. And my friends had traveled there for me. They brought blow-up heads of me, and they put tattoos of my face on their faces. And I couldn't believe how many supporters, people from my gigs came out. And I was just so blessed to see so many people in my life being there to support me, especially driving to Boston. That's a far drive. So being there and all those people being there with me just made it that much better. It was really one of the best experiences. Yeah.
What an experience is right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I saw the video. You killed it. I mean, you knocked it out of the park. It was
no pun intended.
No pun intended. It was awesome, Taylor. Wow, what
Thank
a
you
great
so much.
experience. 30,000 people.
It's
All
crazy.
cheering for you.
It's a
cool is
crazy
that?
feeling. The craziest feeling. There's nothing like it. It's just such a high.
Yeah.
That's great. So you had mentioned that you play with your dad in gigs around South Jersey. I know you play at Mott's Creek. That's a weekly gig, right? You're there every week?
Weekly, bi-weekly, depending on, the time of year.
And Renault Winery, right? Where else do you play?
We play all over South Jersey. You can find us during the summertime a lot on the Shore Strip. We play a lot in Margate, Roberts Place, Log Cabin, Tide Line, Tomatoes.
Did you say
a lot of
Roberts Place?
Tomatoes. Yes. Oh, look at that. Yeah, Robert's Place is so fun. But there's great,
spot.
there's
You
always
get
great
a
amounts of energy there.
That's
That's
for
locals only.
Yeah.
Right, you get it. We play in Ocean City at the OC Yacht Club, the Ocean City Beach Club. We do private parties. We play in EHT, the Roost at the Harbor Pines Golf Course. That's a beautiful place we play. Renault Winery. We do a lot at Mott's Creek, Breezes in New Gretna. We do some gigs in Pennsylvania even. We did one on Boathouse Row one time.
Oh, wow. That must be cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Do you just sing, or do you play music as well too, and your dad plays along with you, or what's the
My dad plays the guitar
Okay.
He plays the guitar almost the whole time. Sometimes when I'm really up for it, I'll grab the guitar and play one song. But I kind of just let it up to him because, he's much better and he's really good at, what he does and keeping the vibes really high for all of the people in the restaurant and the bar. But I do, and on the side, I play other instruments. I play the piano, the guitar. I used to play the violin, the ukulele. I've had a lot of...
Have you and your dad been singing together since you were little, or playing together
Yeah.
since you were little?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
so cool.
since I was a baby, I was always singing, but last year we started playing out because he's done gigs for 25 years, and he was like, why don't you come and sing with me? I was, serving at a restaurant at the time, and so I was still serving at Uncle Bill's Pancake House in Ocean City, and I would do gigs at night and sing at night. And that's how it kind of started. We did a couple gigs, and then we just really started picking it up. And we started to build a brand, Tony and Taylor, the daddy-daughter duo. And it's been such a great experience playing with him. And I've learned so much from him because, obviously he's my father and gives me all this advice, dad advice, but also he's been a musician for 25 years. So I learned a lot about the importance of musicianship and, all of the do's and don'ts and everything in between. So I'm really blessed to have someone so close to me who could give me all this advice while I'm still learning how to be a performer and a musician.
That's awesome, and what another great experience to spend that time with your dad. That's awesome. So let's fast forward a little bit to August 16th. After you had played at Fenway, someone heard or saw you and invited you to the link, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about
I was singing at Robert's Place in the middle of July, and we did the tribute for our veterans, and I sang the national anthem. And at the end of the gig, this really lovely woman came up to me and introduced herself, and she had worked for the NFL. And she got my contact information, and she mentioned possibly, me singing at the Lincoln Financial Field. And I mean, that has been my dream since I've been a little girl. My family were diehard Eagles fans. I just was so excited to even be at the link just to watch the game, but let alone sing. So that had been that's my goal, to sing there. That ever since Fenway Park, I'm like, I'm going to make it to the link. I just have to. I can't live this life without singing for the Eagles. So when she told me that, I couldn't believe it. And I just didn't believe it until it was true. And also, I didn't want to get my hopes up, because there's a lot of times where these things fall through and don't work out. So that's another thing I learned as a musician. A lot of things fall through, and don't believe it until you see it. So a couple weeks had passed. My family and I went on a cruise, and that was the 1 week I had off in the summer. And so I wasn't supposed to check my emails. I wasn't going to be on my phone a lot. And I get a message from a woman who said she worked for the Philadelphia Eagles and asked if I'd be interested in singing at a preseason game on the 16th of August. And I texted her back within 4 minutes, and I just said, I'm there, go Birds. And she sent me an email right away, and I signed, I looked at the paperwork and everything, and it was legit. And so the gig was, I found out in August. I found out August, I think 10th, that I was singing on the 16th.
Wow.
So that was, that was, I think I found out actually on the 7th. I had a week or so to prepare. I was so excited. So yeah, that day I had gone up for a sound check at 9 a.m. They did the sound check the same day as the game. And I had brought my roommate, who is a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan. And, I had been living with her for 2.5 years, so I knew how much this would mean to her. And so she came with me to the sound check and for the game. And I was out there on that field at 9:30 a.m. And being out there on that field was the craziest thing. And we were doing the sound check, and there were so many lovely people taking care of me. They cared about they gave me a mic pack, in-ears. They were, offering me all these food and beverages. And I was singing on the field doing the sound check, and my roommate's face went white. And I'm like, what? But all these people were around, so I just mouthed to her, what? And she's pointing, and she's freaking out. Jalen Hurts was behind me while I was doing the sound check. He's warming up on the field. Her face was white. And that was crazy. I was on the same field as Jalen Hurts during a sound check. And then they took me back to the green room, and I sat in there for 2 hours. And then I went back out, and I sang. All the players, were walking past me, and I just couldn't believe that I was in the presence of all of these stars. And, Cooper DeJean, they all weren't dressed, I don't think. But I was looking for their numbers out there. And it just was really a surreal experience. I sang, I took out my in-ears to listen to the crowd afterward, and I just was looking around, and I just couldn't believe it. And I was walking off the field, and all these players were giving me, a fist pump, and the coach, oh my gosh, it was insane. And and they gave us seats for me and my family to sit, and I sat with them during the game. We were really close to the field, so that was
saw
crazy.
That video also, and again, you crushed it.
Thank you.
And Philly's not an easy ballpark, right?
No.
Philly's a tough park. Man, they loved you.
I was really hoping, because the woman
clear.
had
They
told
loved
me which is really so good because I could be asked back. There's a possibility for a real game, which would be like a major dream come true, if I could sing, at another game. But the woman was telling me
the home NFC championship game. And
that would be crazy.
And you're not bringing your roommate, you're bringing me.
You're there. Done.
Oh,
Done.
He's gonna hold
Actually,
you to
your
that
roommate
one.
should probably pay at least 1 month rent for getting her on the field like that.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll pitch that to her. But no, it was really I was hoping that they would like me because I was being told that, if you don't keep a traditional anthem, people, season ticket holders, they reach out and they're upset that, they're very, they like the traditional anthem. It has to be a specific time because they cue the fireworks, and during a real game, they cue the jets flying over at the end. So they're really, the NFL is really, they have to keep everything, with all the cameras, timing. It's really, down to every 30 seconds. It has to be all laid out beforehand. So there was a lot of pressure on me to make sure I got that exact time with the anthem. I'm tapping my foot on the field trying to make sure I was keeping the right tempo. But yeah.
Well,
so
I love your version because you definitely make it your own, but you don't make the mistake that I think too many performers make, which is trying to go over the top.
Yeah, it's incredibly important to me to hold true to such a patriotic song, and obviously I'm paying a tribute to veterans all the time when I sing that song, and anyone who's in the service. So that's something I value incredibly much, to never overdo it, because I never would want to disrespect, one of the most important songs that represent the United States of America. So I appreciate that.
That's a great segue to my question. So, as part of your normal gig, and you tied it into Fenway Park, and I want you to talk about that. But as part of your normal gig with your father, you do a little tribute to veterans, right?
Yes, we do. During almost every gig. Unless my voice really can't take it that day, I don't want to disrespect the anthem by singing it, so I just won't, because sometimes it's too hard. But almost every gig we do a tribute to the veterans, and I don't know if you know the song, everybody knows the song Chicken Fried by the Zac Brown Band. There's a part in the song where they quote, "I thank God for my life, for the stars and stripes, may freedom forever fly." And it goes on, and it talks about, thanking everybody for their service so we can live this life with a little bit of chicken fried. So before we go into that verse of the song, my dad, slows down the gig and he stops playing the guitar. And he thanks anybody for their service out in the audience. And he thanks, everybody who has served, and anybody who has given the ultimate sacrifice for our country and for our freedoms. And that will segue into me singing the national anthem. And then when I finish the national anthem, we go back into the song Chicken Fried, that we had taken a break in the middle of, and we'll go back right into that third verse. And yeah, we do that almost every gig. And
that's great. That's very creative. And I love the fact that you do that. You and your dad are good Americans.
Yes, that's how I was raised, and I take pride in that.
So tell us how that ties into your gig at Fenway Park.
Absolutely. So I was recruited for the Boston Red Sox by doing this tribute at a gig. We had done the tribute and I sang. And so I'm just, I can't not do every anthem without doing a big thank you to the veterans. And obviously when I'm, on the field at Fenway Park, I can't say these things in front of all these people because with the cameras and the timing and everything, it's just, it won't work out. But on the road to Fenway, for the month building up to me singing there, We had started raising money, and we were posting it on multiple social media platforms. We were raising money for our local VFW in Absecon. My dad and I live in Absecon. So we were raising money for the Absecon VFW, and we managed to raise about $3,000. And, we were raising money up until the day I sang at Fenway. And almost every gig, someone comes up at the end of the gig and thanks me for singing the anthem, and they'll give me their coin, or they'll tell me their story. And so I wanted to be able to raise money for a lot of veterans, a lot of disabled veterans, a lot of homeless veterans. And at the Absecon VFW, they are always also looking for money to put towards the VFW. So we were able to raise almost $3,000. And
That's awesome.
I took every coin, and I took every coin that anyone has ever given to me while singing the national anthem, and I kept it in my jeans pocket while I sang at Fenway Park. So I feel like, especially now, I see it's more common. There's not a lot of people who are always thanking people for their service anymore. And I'm hoping that I can make a change in this generation to make it more of a priority, to be more cognizant of the people who have served and have given the ultimate sacrifice for all of these freedoms we have that we sometimes take advantage of. So I always want to be able to give back. So
The
that's
Eagles
what
should have you back for their Veterans Day game. They have to.
That would be an honor, and
You got
yeah,
to. Yeah.
that would be an honor.
We'll see what we can do for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll talk to you about it when we go offline.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's awesome, Taylor. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm speechless, honestly. I mean, lead your generation. That's great. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, you've got to be on the field at Lincoln Financial Field. You got to be on the field at Fenway. You've lived these dreams. What do you see now in the future? What are you progressing towards? Obviously, really, the sky's the limit here. So where do you see yourself as far as
I honestly
performing go?
I haven't thought about it because my dream came true of singing at the Lincoln Financial Field, and I just think, how blessed am I that I have to find a new dream? I'm 20 and I already accomplished the greatest thing I've wanted to do with my, with vocals and stuff. So I think about what's next. I work at a studio here in Westchester to make side money, and I drive there and I sing on demos and tracks that are sent off to places like Nashville and Los Angeles. So maybe something great will come through that. I've met a lot of people and have done a lot of networking through that job. And, I really don't know what's in the cards for me for my future. I'm going to continue to get my degree, continue towards my master's. I'd like to get my master's in speech therapy. And so I'm hoping, I can either work in a school or a hospital. But if not that, obviously I have my singing on the side, and if that takes off, then great. I have been thinking maybe I could start, look into starting a foundation or working with a foundation that's already been created, and just continue raising money for the veterans and continue pushing and holding my stance on how I feel about these things, and promoting it and inspiring people my age and getting people more aware of, the act of thanking and giving back to, you really can't give back to people who are serving or have served or who have given the ultimate sacrifice. There's really nothing that you can do that will just fully give back to what they've done. But still starting a foundation or something that could be in the cards for the future, especially if I continue singing at different ballparks and different stadiums. That would be a great segue.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that's a great way to get your message out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, very cool. Very cool.
So,
Yeah.
if you
Thank
had a choice, what would be the next national anthem, the next venue? Flyers?
I mean, I'm going to say the Lincoln Financial Field again. I would sing at the Eagles game again. I mean, that was like the craziest thing.
We'll get you a residency. You'll just be there.
Yeah, maybe they'll give me, some season tickets too. That'd be pretty awesome. But honestly, I'd want to sing there again for like not just a preseason game, but a game. But I mean, other than that, maybe I honestly haven't gotten that far. Seriously,
I hope the Eagles are listening.
I hope so too.
well, Taylor, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on today. Not only are you a gifted singer, I've never met you, but I'm incredibly impressed by you. Just the humbleness that you have for someone who's accomplished so much at such a young age is pretty cool. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on here. It's
totally agree.
It's so exciting to be here.
You're, Taylor, you're a very well-rounded person and very thoughtful person, and I'm so glad we had you on. And as you know, I'm friends with your mom and I'm friends with Steve, but when you make it big and you're trying to buy the rights to this podcast so you can own those rights, we'll sell them, but we're going to negotiate hard, right, Dom?
I thought you were just going to try and take the season tickets from her for having her sing at the OC.
I mean, when she's like Taylor Swift big, when she's Taylor Swift
that was
big,
where I was going.
We'll hold out for the big bucks.
As soon as you said you wanted season tickets, I'm like, oh, Drew's going to find a way to get these for that OCYA gig. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And now, you know what? Just from talking to you, I have a feeling that Taylor would probably send you 2 tickets anyway, just because she's that kind of person. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
I may, if I could, I would. Let's find a way, right?
I know you would. Let's make it happen. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you.
We'll be watching. We'll be following.
Yeah,
thank you. It was so good to meet you, Dom, and I really appreciate you guys having me on here and considering me to be on here. It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
It was our pleasure.
Doing great things
thank
for
you.
Ocean City High School alum, out there making us all proud. So thank you. So.
And
absolutely.
Rams up.
Rams up. Yep. There
All
it
right,
is. Rams up.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This has been the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you.